Good evening, everyone. So, tonight we're going to have a different evening than what normally we do here at the Kabbalah Center. It's an evening we called it music, sacred music, Kabbalistic music, and storytelling. We're having an amazing group of people here, and we just wanted to share with you this energy to help us again, first of all, to be together in this special night. About the music and the power of storytelling, this is a simple way just to help each one of us to open the heart and to connect with our soul, with the divine energy, with the light of the Creator in a very simple way. So I love simplicity, and this is what we want to share with you tonight.
La la la. there is a story that always inspires me and remind me how is it important to look at the good in situation in other people. And it's actually a story about a Kabbalist. His name is Rabbi Levi Yitzchak from Berdichev. He lived 300 years ago. And he was very famous with him always looking for the good in people in every situation. Every time he spoke, every time something happened, he was striving to look for the good. And one day, he was in a city that nobody knew him. And he had to sleep in a motel. There was a big market day in that city. And he was waking up in the morning to do his morning connections, to connect to the light, and he saw a lot of young people, traders, merchants, also rushing in the morning connection, busy day, a lot of things to do. And as he saw them making the connection, he called them and said, young guys, come for a second, I want to tell you something. So they all came to listen what this rabbi has to say. And he approached them and said, What? We didn't get it. What? What does he want? Is he crazy? What does he want, this guy? Rabbi Levi Yitzchak of Levi Berdichev told them, I appreciate the fact that I know it's a busy day in the market, and I appreciate the fact that you come and you do find the time in the morning to make the connection to the light force. But for you to know that sometimes only we're rushing in our connection and we don't say the words properly, so the universe can't understand what you're saying, and the universe cannot really fulfill your wishes and desire because the words are not well pronounced. Oh, now I understand. So as I was thinking for a second, I said, but also, when a new baby is born, and he's also mumbling, you can take all the doctors in the world. You can bring all the professors in the world. No one will understand what he's saying. But when his mother and father and his parents will come, they will know exactly if he wants milk, or he wants water, or he wants to sleep. They know what he's mumbling. And for us, the light is like our parent, is like his father. And the light looks into our heart. And he knows what we wish in our heart. So sometimes we rush. But the light knows and looks inside the heart. I believe Yitzchak of Berdichev, when he heard that, he started dancing for happiness. And he said, you see, not only these young fellows find the time in the morning in such a busy day to find and do the connection to the light, but they also love you just like you're their father and their mother. And that story always inspires me to remember there is good in everything. And when we strive to it and we look for it, push for it, we also connect to the good.
tune was written by the same Kabbalist. This Kabbalist actually wrote this tune, this melody, and therefore it's imbued with his essence, which is the ability to see the good. So I will ask you all to close your eyes for a moment. First, by seeing the good of our heart, to recognize our own goodness, our own spark, unique spark of the Creator. Now to expand that spark, to start to see the spark of others, to see the good in others, asking for the support this Kabbalist, to help us remove our blockages and curtains and judgment, and to open our heart to see the good. If we're looking for what's wrong, we're going to find it. If we're going to look for what's good, we're going to find it too. So this second song that we're going to sing, melody by Rav Brandwein, I'm sorry, student of the Rav, teacher of the Rav. Just want to get you guys more confused. But I like what Yuda said, to keep it simple. So the story that I wanted to share is the story of the Baal Shem Tov. We know that during the time of the Baal Shem Tov, there were many opposers for the Baal Shem Tov, because he started a revolution. What was the revolution? The revolution was to do the spiritual work more from the heart, less from the brain. It's for everybody. Joy was the emphasis, and not everybody liked it. So his opposers got once together and they said, what can we do to really get the Baal Shem Tov upset? What can we do to annoy him? They got together and they decided that they're all going to go together and rebuke him and attack him and throw things at him. And there was one guy that wasn't so sure. He should do the same thing. He should be part of that. So he decided, you know what? I'm going to stay here in this place, and I know I will do at least what I know will reveal light for sure. Since I'm not sure about this, I know one thing that's for sure good is study, spiritual study, meditate. Came to the house of study, started to sit down, study, meditate a bit. and behold, the woman comes in, sees this man studying, says, I'm sure he's a scholar, I'm sure he has a lot of knowledge, awareness. I have a question in mind, I want to go and ask him. She comes to him, she asks her question. He gives her an answer and she is so amazed. She's like, wow, it's exactly what I needed to hear. Thank you so much. And she goes away. The guy continues to study and realizes that in his study, he found something that contradicted the answer that he gave the woman. So now he's really confused. He starts to ask himself questions. He starts to look inside. What was it within me that caused me to give her a wrong answer? Because if I'm connected to the light of the Creator, I certainly wouldn't have given her the wrong answer. So he's thinking and thinking, he's going through this internal process of searching and looking, and the only thing he could find that he might have not done what he should have done, he wasn't sure, but the only thing he could find was he didn't go with the group to attack the Baal Shem Tov. He said, if that's the only thing I can find, I'll go and do that. I didn't think it was the right thing to do, but maybe it is, maybe it was a mistake. So as he's going to the Baal Shem Tov, he's picking up stones from the floor, he's picking up all kinds of stuff that he was willing and prepared to throw at the Baal Shem Tov. He comes to the place of the Baal Shem Tov. Baal Shem Tov sits there in a deep meditation. The guy decides, at least I'm going to give him that respect. Once he finishes meditation, I'm going to throw the stuff at him. So the Baal Shem Tov opens his eyes and says, don't worry, you gave the woman the right answer. The man is like shocked. Not just that he knew what has happened, but he also knew that the answer that the man gave was the correct answer. Now he starts to feel so ashamed. He feels so embarrassed. How could I even think to throw stuff at this high elevated spiritual soul? He feels so bad with himself. He starts to run out, walk out. And as he's walking out, depressed, sad, he's throwing all the stones on the floor that he was willing and ready to prepare to throw at the Baal Shem Tov. He walks for a few minutes and he realizes that the Baal Shem Tov is behind him, picking up the rocks and kissing them. Picking up the rocks and kissing them. He looks at him and turns around and said, what are you doing? You holy elevated man. You're picking up dirty things from the floor, things, not just anything, things that I was willing and ready to throw at you, and you're kissing them? Baal Shem Tov said, these stones are a product of your inner struggle, of wanting and fighting and looking for the Creator and wanting to do what the Creator wants you to do. And because of that, they are holy. For me, there are many lessons in this story, but the main one, which really touched me when I first heard it recently, is that it doesn't matter what we're doing. What matters is the inner struggle, the internal battle. If we really want to do what the Creator wants us to do and we're struggling and fighting for that, then things turn out right. Even when he went and was willing to throw it, the Baal Shem Tov stopped him before. Everything will turn out right. And externally, if we're doing our inner work, the inner struggle, that's really what matters. So we said the tune written by Rav Ranvai. look at the container. More important is to look what's inside the container. So as we're singing this song, and we're welcome to join us, I want to meditate first, to awaken that inner strength, that power, to look within. Sometimes we forget. It's that simple. All the answers, all the solutions, everything, all the fulfillment we're looking for is already within us. And this melody, this song, as convey to help us to awaken our spirit, our soul, to remember this lesson, to look within, to find whatever we need right now in our lives, to find it within.
Very often we talk within the teachings, and I believe many of us heard this idea, this concept many times and in many different ways. Probably many of us striving to elevate ourselves into a place in life to be able to have happiness in our heart, regardless to what's happening around, regardless to the ups and downs of life, right? It's a special gift to have, to be able to hold on again to the energy of happiness within. Unfortunately, very often for many of us, the happiness that we feel inside of us is dependent. And one of the main things within the work that we do, the spiritual work that we do, is hopefully to get all of us to a place again that our connection with the light is not dependent on what is going on and what is happening. So the story is about one of the students of the Baal Shem Tov. Before the Baal Shem Tov left the world, he gave a few gifts to some of his students. And Nahum of Chernobyl, he received one of those gifts that all the students of the Baal Shem Tov would wish to receive. So those of you who know, one of the tools that the men use on a daily basis called the tefillin. And those tefillin that the Baal Shem Tov used his entire life, he gave those tefillin to this student. So obviously it wasn't just the object of the tefillin, it was all the energy of the Baal Shem Tov within this tefillin. And any time that you drop the tefillin in his connections, in spiritual meditations, you would literally we'd fly to different higher dimensions, and it was the one thing that was the most important thing for him. Unfortunately, in his 1% in his physical life, the physical conditions were very difficult. He was married and he had kids, and he always struggled with money, never had enough money to sustain his family. And one day his wife, she came and told him, listen, I know how much these tefillin are, important for you, but if you would sell the tefillin, we would get lots of money, that this money can sustain our family probably for the next 20 years. And he insisted that it doesn't worth it, because the blessings that are being drawn through his connections with this specific tefillin are more important than the money. And once in a while she would come and try again to tell him maybe we should sell those tefillin and we'd get money, and he always rejected this idea. After a few years, the time of Sukkot, this is one of the times of the connections, came. And in Sukkot, one of the tools that we use is the etrog. It's the citron. And we use it in a special way, again, in certain meditations to help to awaken certain energy. And back at the time, at that year, nobody could find an etrog. Nobody could find a citron. There was one individual that had one citron that was willing to sell it. And Nachum of Chernobyl was thinking to himself, how can I go through the 7 days of Sukkot without the etrog, the citron, which is one of the most important connections that we do? So he went to the guy, and the guy told him, listen, I'm the only one who has the citron, the etrog. I'm willing to sell it to you, but it will cost you lots of money. He told him, don't worry, I got the money. He went and he sold the tefillin. He got all the money that could sustain his family for 20 years. And he paid this money to the other guy, and he got this little citron, this little etrog, for all of this money, for the use of only 7 days of the year, and after that, you don't use it anymore. So they did the exchange, and he's coming back home very happy. And his wife looking at him, and she's asking, what is this big smile on your face? So Nachum of Chernobyl told his wife, Sukkot is coming in. I need to use a citron for the meditations. And as you know, there's no place to find the citron, but I found one guy. He traveled all the way from different village, and I sold that tefillin that the Baal Shem Tov gave me. And with this money, I bought this little thing. And she looked at him and she couldn't believe. Money that could sustain the family for 20 years. He bought a little citron for 7 days. She was so upset. And she took the citron and she smashed the citron on the wall. Now it cannot be used even for spiritual connections. So he's looking at this little smashed citron on the floor, and he's looking at her with a big, big, big smile. So she's asking him, what are you smiling about now? So he said, at the beginning, those tefillin that I had from the Baal Shem Tov, they were the source of all the light and the energy that I drew every day throughout my meditations. And then I received a message that I should sell the tefillin and buy this little citron for the connection of the 7 days. And the citron became the source of my connection and my energy in my head, in my mind. And now I don't have even this citron, but I have you. My dear wife, I don't need the tefillin, I don't need the citron, I just need you. I know this story sounds kind of, what can we do with this story, Give me the citron, give me that feeling, give me some source of energy, right? But Nahum of Chernobyl reached at 11 that point that his spiritual connection, his connection with the divine, with the energy, was no longer dependent on anything. And he could reach the same energy that he could reach with the feeling of the Baal Shem Tov, with the citron that he bought, just simply being unified, and with the love inside of his heart, with the beloved of his soul, his wife. We have enough things right now in our life that can make us the happiest human beings. But our mind travels to all different directions so often, and it becomes dependent. It becomes dependent. Our happiness becomes dependent. And it should not be. It should not be. So, with the coming song, what we want to awaken and what we want to meditate, again, just a few moments, in this week, maybe in this month, that what I'm asking from each one of you is just to make an effort to let go of anything that bothers you. Anything that bothers you. To try to put your mind together with your heart, to remove all the space, and just to allow yourself to feel how blessed you are. How blessed you are with everything that you have right now. Not with the future things, not with the past things that you used to have. With where you are right now. So also with the music, we'll take it in different direction, so get ready. We're going to reveal something new about Daniel.
to awaken happiness, happiness for no reason.
Okay, maybe Daniel would like to close the evening with a few words.
Yeah, we didn't discuss that part. No, I think it was awesome. I enjoyed it. I hope you did. We'll get better and better, and hopefully we'll do this more often. So thank you so much for joining. It was really fun.